There we go. Good enough. All right. That was long enough. That's all I'm going to do. As the title says, Sumps versus Canister Filters. And we'll get there in a second. But first, we got to recognize Boss Hog for becoming the newest member to the Steenfott Shoal. Thank you, Boss Hog. I appreciate it. And what's up, everyone? Appreciate everyone that's been here early, kind of hanging out and chat with us. We're still going to give it a couple more minutes before we get started. Thank you, Candy, for the links. I want to see my name in lights. I know, Jamie. I know. I need to make a new one. The problem is like, there's too many members now to make an all-member intro. So I got to figure out a different way to do it. Maybe like an outro, but then no one would watch it. So I don't know. I don't know. Well, that's a name. What? Sump with black background. Yeah. So if anyone who's been around my channel for a long time, you know that I absolutely hate canister filters. But I'm going to come at this with an open mind. Get to work, Bob. All right. Try to look at this objectively. There's cons and negatives to both, but we'll see what we come up with. I'm going to rely too many members. Champagne problems. That's the second time I've heard that. Is that like a new thing? Champagne. There's too many members for an intro. Like I could speed it up, but then you couldn't even read the names anyways. So it kind of defeats the purpose. So we'll find a way to recognize. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like end credits would work. I just don't know that anyone would actually stick around to the end. But you never know. It's better than nothing though, right? So, will a mono shrimp eat cherry shrimp? Yes. Yes, they will. Not adults, but they'll definitely pick off cherry shrimp, shrimplets, little babies. I would definitely... I mean, I don't know. I've kept a mono with cherry shrimp, and the cherry shrimp outproduced what they would kill, but it's not like they actively seek out and try to hunt and kill shrimp. Moonstone, Fish Tank Barn, Mile High Plecos, Dragon Lair, Brian, Fish and Shrimp by Rich. Everyone, welcome to the live stream. All right, so real quick, first thing I want to ask is, for everyone in chat, what do you prefer? A sump or canister? That's where I want to start this discussion. So just let me know in chat, sump or canister. I'm not going to keep score, but I am, because I'm hoping Sumps win. See, Sumps all the way. Sump, 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 Sump. See, we don't even need to have this live stream. If no one says canister, then we don't even need to have this live stream. And we can talk about whatever we want. Sponges for the win. There we go. We got Aqua Discovery. We've got some canister filters coming in. I've never had a sump yet. Currently canisters. No experience, so here to learn. What size tank do you start to need either? Well, I mean, you could put a sump on anything. I've seen people with 20-gallon tanks with a 20-gallon sump blow it. So, airstone. It really, really depends. I mean, like you could have a 200-gallon tank and not need anything but a sponge filter, right? Depends on what fish you have in there. Sump if I could afford it. Well, there's cheap ways to make sumps. So... the thing is I don't know that I would ever buy a sump. Like, head into your local fish store and spend $200 to $300 on a sump just seems kind of ridiculous to me. So I would love a sump, but it's by far and best. Wait, it's by far the best and most versatile. Yeah. There are a few canister people here, though. Canisters are great for water polishing when in tandem with a sump. Oh, look at all the canisters coming in late. Canisters will hang on back. No filter. Ooh, dicey. Controversy. Whatever. Don't care for canisters, but I like to stack the tanks, so sponge filters mostly. Yeah, I feel like if we did, like, what's the best filter, sponge filter is going to win either way. But canister, it quit. It looks like, I mean, honestly, I think Sump wins it out here, but it's closer than I thought it would be. We got more canister people here. And I'm curious, is it canister because sumps are expensive? Is it canister because they're somewhat easier to set up? Like, you can buy a canister filter and it comes with everything. You buy a sump, you know, you spend $300 on a sump, then you still got to spend who knows how much on a pump, etc., etc. Cindy says, Bob, why don't you show us how to build a sump? Well, that is in the works, but I gotta wait. I don't know, is the $1 per gallon sale still going on? Because that is how you get a sump for super cheap. Super cheap. Hang on back is probably the easiest to maintain. Yeah. Yep. Drilling tanks with a sad face. Drilling tanks is not that bad. Drilling a tank is one of those things that you really need to do it once. And then once you do it once, you're like, what was I even worried about? That's how it was for me. And you kind of hear that a lot from people. Like, once you do the first one, you realize it's not any different than drilling anything else. It's just glass instead of wood or whatever. It's not hard at all. As long as you use the right drill tip, mind you. So Moonstone says, what is the noise factor on both? I'd honestly have to give, if we're talking about noise, I'd have to give the edge to canister filters, because sumps can be noisy. Now, a sump can be just as quiet as a canister filter too, though. Matthew Vargas, what's up, buddy? Bare Bottoms Aquarium says, has to be the right application for different needs, but a sump would be nice to have. Yeah. So anyways, for noise, I would definitely, I'd have to put the wind check mark in the canister filter column. Price wise, I think again canisters are gonna win out. Like, what? There's people that would have been buying the FX4 for like $150, which to me is still too much money, but for the canister filter people, that's a pretty good idea. Flip Aquatics had to drill those 25 plus 125 gallon tanks. Yeah, did you see the video of Dan's Fish drilling like 2,000 40-gallon breeders? It wasn't that bad. Well, granted he had like a sweet tool to do it. Anytime I've drilled a tank, I've just used a portable drill. I don't have enough big tanks to use a canister or a sump. Well, canisters are actually pretty common in nano tanks as well. So, what else do we got here? Everything is right application. Yep, I have one sump. It's a great place to stash extra media and sponge filters. Yeah, so we could talk about the advantages of a sump. Like, there's so much that you can do with a sump that you can't do with a canister filter. Like I've kept shrimp colonies in my sump. Can't do that in a canister filter. I've propagated a nubius in a sump. Can't do that with a canister filter. There's way more, infinite more things you can do with a sump. If you're talking about maintenance, sump all the way. I mean, you just change out your piece of polyfill like every week when you do your water change, or every 2 weeks, and that's it. You don't have to take apart fittings. You don't have to undo anything. You don't have to splash water everywhere. Sump by far. I used to know a guy who did all only large tanks, and he would only do like FX5 or FX6. This was a long time ago, so I said FX5. He swore by these things hands over feet. They were the best ever for his large tanks until he got one sump. And then the next time I went over there, everything was on a sump. It's just when it came down to him doing maintenance on, I think he had like 7 or 8 FX5s. And it was just a no-brainer when it comes to doing maintenance. He saved so much time switching over to Sumps, it was ridiculous. My Durso overflows are definitely not quiet. David Reed asked that again with a Steenfott Aquatics. David Reed. Can multiple 10 gallons combined with one large sump? Absolutely. So there's some risk involved with that though. So now you're thinking of like Petco or PetSmart, where a lot of their tanks are going to one sump and then going back up. So the downfall to that is if one of your tanks get diseased, then all your tanks are going to get it. So I honestly prefer it that way, to be honest. Like, if I could go downstairs and put all my tanks on one sump, that would be absolutely amazing. But I wouldn't do it all on one. I would do like one sump per wall so that's somewhat separated. But that would just be so much easier than cleaning filters in every single tank. Now, I'm not too worried about disease or the cost of treating an entire system like that. If something did happen, that's the risk you take. But I don't know. I feel like it would just make things a lot easier. But Petco and PetSmart kills me when they close off one tank. Yeah, that's so funny. Oh, Matthew Vargas. Yep. So all of their sumps, they're like in sections, right? All those units, those Mars whatever units, they're in sections. And I have my window open, so it's really hot out. Thanks, dude. Yep, rev it nice and loud in the neighborhood. Anyway, so yeah, Petco will close off one tank even though it's all one system. They'll turn the lights off and be like, we're under quarantine, or we're getting healthy, or something stupid. Meanwhile, they're all connected. But yeah. So yeah, you can just keep that in mind. If you have like 20 10-gallon tanks going to one sump, it's going to spread all over. My only problem with canisters and sumps is the current is very strong for certain fish. Well, okay, so that is definitely something that can be rectified, but it requires customization, like spray bars. You can do a lot with spray bars. In my 240 gallon right now, I actually have the return going straight down into the corner of the tank. That's it. So imagine, where am I at here? Well, not that one. What's going on here? This one. So this thing right here, instead of curling like that, it goes straight down and it just comes splashing all the way down into a rock pile in my 240 gallon. Oh, what's going on here? Let's get back to normal. There we go. And then I have some pumps to move the water inside the tank. So I used to have a spray bar, but it created too much evaporation. So I find I get way less evaporation if I just go straight down. I don't know why, but I do. I mean, obviously more water movement on top is going to create more evaporation. So now I just go straight down. I picked up a 1 in a random flow generator for a new project. All right. Priscilla says Sumps. Yeah. So I mean, you guys know me. I really don't like canister filters. So I'm hoping someone in the chat can give me, like John at KG Tropicals, he loves his FX6s, his FX4s, and I just don't get it. Like, especially when you have that many tanks, just I had an FX6 and I used it for about 4 months and I sold it. Tell Bob to hold on till I get back. Yeah, good luck. What else? Hey, Dragon, I was freaking snowing here today. I could use some man, it's been a scorcher here over the weekend. And unfortunately, the temperature is going to drop down into the 40s this week, so I still have to wait to put fish outside. All right. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some positives to say about canister filters. I really am. Yes, Bob, we didn't clean your canister filter for like a year, and it was doing just fine. That tank was always pristine. So what's the beef? Because that tank was fine because of the water changes. So I had that one canister filter in there for almost 3 years. It had an intake sponge, and that was it. And the only thing I was using that canister filter for was basically water movement. That's it. That was a heavily planted tank, and I was doing the dry fert method, which is 50% water changes every week. And that's really what kept the tank clean, not that canister filter. So, yeah. Priscilla MK Art says, I hate the FX6. I got 2 in the store. Take a summer. Yeah, I take a summer over a canister all day too, but take a sump over a canister all day. Ginger Grave says, I hate my canister filter. I'm glad. I feel like there's more people in my boat than in the canister filter boat. And sumps are so much fun. They are. Like, just the things you can do with them. It's so fun. Now, the way to make a cheap sump, and I'll do a video of this next time the $1 per gallon sale is going on, is you take a canister filter. Yeah, you don't know, though, because John does all the cleaning, Lisa, so you don't get to chime in. You might do all the water changes and the feeding, but I know John's the one down there cleaning the canister filters. So, let's be real. So anyways, $1 per gallon sale, depending on the size of your tank, whatever, you get yourself just like a 20-gallon tank, right? A 20-gallon tall, and you can get the tops that I make for aquariums. You can cut out the same top for that, and then you just cut out a hole, and you get yourself a filter sock for like saltwater tanks, and you just slide that down in the hole. They're reusable. You can clean them. You can wash them. They're absolutely amazing. And then your overflow for your tank goes through the filter sock into the 20-gallon aquarium, and in there you can do anything. All you have to do really is put a return pump. If you want it as simple as can be, that's all you need: a filter sock and a return pump. If you want, you can put carbon in there. You can put biomedia in there. You can put sponge filters, which is what I would do. I would probably have about 4 sponge filters in there so that they're always ready to go if I was to start a new tank. And it's really that easy. That's all you need. That's it. So you figure, you got $20 into a tank. You can get the top. You can cut it yourself. Maybe $20 into that. A filter sock on eBay is like $1. It's cheap. The main cost is going to be the return pump. $20 long. I use extra glass baffles. Yeah, and you can even do the glass baffles like an actual sump, but I just don't find it necessary. I don't, but you can still do it if you want to. Now the thing is what was I gonna say? Oh, the 20-gallon long. I don't like using the shallow tanks, so I use a 20-gallon tall, because depending on what type of tank you're using the sump on, as soon as you cut the power, obviously the overflow is going to drain into the sump until there's no water left, right? And the shallow tanks, like a 20-gallon tall, just don't give you much room for error. So the 20-gallon long, it's a good sump. It can do it, but I like taller tanks for my sumps, just because I don't have to worry about it as much. If that makes any sense at all, I have no idea. Lisa says, I prefer hang on back and sponge filters. Well, the title of the stream isn't hang on back or sponge filter, but maybe we'll do that on the next one. But yeah, hang on backs. I talk a lot of crap about hang on back filters, but I use them a lot. I do like them. But again, it's more that I use it for water movement. I use them as like a power head instead of like an actual filter. Any hang on back filter I get, I don't use any of the manufacturer provided media ever. I just throw all that crap away and use batting. I just put batting in it. That's it. I used to maintain the sumps in the fish store and not a fan anymore. Well, why is that? I would challenge you to maintain the canister filters for like a month and then come back here and tell me that you like canister filters over sumps. Just saying. I'm going to give that challenge out to you right now. Let's talk about back-to-back filtration. Let's talk about back-to-back. Back-built filtrations like fluval aquariums. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. They're convenient, but I feel like they're harder to maintain. For me, I don't want to like have to climb up over my tank. A lot of my tanks, it's not something I can just approach my tank from the side and get at it from the side. I mean, when you have as many tanks as I have, they're all going to be lined up. There's no side. You have to go over the top to get to the back of it. It's a pain. If you go with the 20 long, you may as well go with the 29. I mean, ultimately, the 29 is probably the best size for a sump. I mean, hands down. The 40-gallon breeder is nice, but it's a bit too wide. That 29-gallon tank, though, is perfect. That is like the perfect size. Same Bob. Moonstone says same, or the bio bags with some charcoal in it. Just squish it in there and viola. I'm not a fan of charcoal. I'm just not. But yeah, whatever you want to put in there. I know people love charcoal. I rarely ever use charcoal. Rarely. Mainly because everything I do is planted. So why would I do that when John does it for me? Well, see, now, that's exactly. You just can't say you prefer canister filters and then be a Karen and say, John does it for me. Broken, I know words. Borkin, glass. What? I'm about to convert everything to the father fish dirted tank once I get all my fish outdoors. I have always been in love with a deep substrate. Always. I've always done it. I cannot stand. There's nothing more annoying to me than having like 1 inch or 1.5 inch or even 2 inches of substrate to plant plants in. It's so frustrating. It's working for Lucas and Ginger says I'm going the LRB way. It's working for Lucas and it's working for Big City Bettas. Well, yeah, I mean, it works. There's no doubt about it. I can't stand the waterfall noise I get from hanging on back. It keeps me up at night. Well, why wouldn't you raise the water level in the aquarium so that it's not splashing around? Dude. The sump on our 265 takes 5 minutes to maintenance, remove, and replace 3 8-inch filter socks. Exactly. I don't know. Why aren't filter socks like more popular in freshwater aquariums? I don't get it. I don't. Can someone explain that to me? I mean, I used one on my 240 gallon forever. Like, I don't use it anymore because I kind of changed how I do it. But man, filter socks. Why? Why aren't people in freshwater aquariums using filter socks? I don't get it. We got like a smiley face invasion going on here. What the heck? Everyone talks about what filters are the best. They all suck catfish heads. I don't even get I don't get it. What? Filter socks are kind of a pain to wash and they eventually stink. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's not as easy as just like a regular sump where you're just throwing out batting every week or every other week, however often you do it. I went FX6 because I didn't want to drill my tank and I don't trust hang on back overflows. Plug and play, bro. Plug and play. Well, yeah. I mean, that is definitely the advantage of a canister filter is everything you need comes in the box. They're simple to set up. So, yeah, I'm definitely giving the advantage to canisters there. Still have the WordPress thing. I still have some tweaking to do. You almost have to buy a saltwater sump to get a pre-made sump that uses filter socks. It's like, yeah. So that's why, like, when I make my own, I'm just gonna cut the top with like the 3-inch holes, right for the filter socks. It's so easy. And when I was using filter socks on my 240 gallon, when I did my water changes, I would just take the sock out, flip it inside out, hose it down, and it was like brand new. Then flip it back right side in, and put it right back in there. It was so easy. So simple. Who forgot to like? Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. Bob only likes ghetto sumps. I do, because they're way cheaper. Everything is cheaper in the ghetto. Don't say ghetto. Oh man, people these days. Yes, I much prefer ghetto or DIY sumps over going and spending hundreds and hundreds. Like, I mean, who sells sumps? Let's go to a website. I'm not gonna say what website it is because I don't want to like trash any companies or anything. Whoa, not there. Something depot. Something depot. Let's look for sumps. Oh, I don't care about your stupid notifications. Oh my gosh, the pop-ups. This is awful. Give it a rest with the pop-ups, people. Okay. $584 for a 4-foot sump. Or $55 for a 55-gallon. A 30-inch sump, $260. See, this is insane. $260 for a 30-inch sump, basically a 29-gallon aquarium. Or you could spend, instead of $260, you could spend like $100 with a pump, even with a return pump, and have an extra $160 to go buy 4 40-gallon breeders. It's insane. No, these are not like pop-ups. These are like subscribe to our newsletter for 10% off. Spin the wheel for a chance at a free $5 gift card. Those kind of pop-ups, like not ad pop-ups. Troy Visser, yeah. You could, yeah. The money you save, you could buy like a Fluval 3.0. $160. Yeah. DIY. DIY. We need more DIY. We need more DIY. Save money. So I'm gonna go to Amazon right now. I'm gonna show you what pumps. I buy Rio return pumps. Rio. Those are the ones I use. So let's see here. Rio 2500, 800 gallons per hour, $69.99. 650 gallons per hour, $53.99. Oh, here we go. 840 gallons per hour for $60. There you go. It's easy. We need more DIY videos then, Bob. I know. Trust me. I know. I'm, well, anyways. Sensor Depot. Yeah. Rose Aquatic, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Make a sump out of an aquarium before buying one, because those prices are insane. And all you get is like those stupid baffles that don't even do anything. Like, what are those baffles? Can someone explain to me what those baffles even do? What is the point of the baffles? Let me go back. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. Now, if you're baffling it and putting the sponge filter or like the long sponge in the baffles, that's fine. But the baffles where it just goes down, up, and down, what is that even doing for you? Can someone explain that to me? I mean, I wish I could show you guys what I'm looking at, but what is the point? Makes no sense. Did you guys just hear my dog fart? Jeez. Bob's baffled by baffles. Yep. Baffles apply more to salt. Supposed to be a bubble catch. Okay. As long as there's some type of logic. I've never noticed a difference But again, I've never used one in salt, so. Force direction to flow to maximize filter exposure. But it's still going over the sponge filter regardless. I don't know. Baffles can be the Sump song. I support anti-splosh devices. Interesting. Very interesting. Also make sure the water flows evenly over all the media. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not buying into this baffle conspiracy. I'm just not. But I am a big dummy. I mean, I'm basically looking at a $30 aquarium with some baffles. I mean, some of these, I will say that these some of these are way more intricate than like 5 years ago. I mean, this one has a baffle with a fish cut out of it. So now all the water is flowing through the little fish logo. So, I mean, come on. Just get rid of that whole baffle. It's not needed. Oh, and baffles for creating a refugium section. Yes, see? Now that makes sense. And that makes sense. And that's one of the things I talked about earlier, if you want to do that. I think I did. I don't know. I have that one. Trigger Systems Emerald 39. It's a 34-inch sump. I mean, it's... I don't know. It's $439, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. But you know what? If someone wants to spend $500 after tax and shipping, be my guest. I'll spend $30 on a 29-gallon tank and call it good. Bunnies are the best. What? Bunnies? I lurk. It's my nature. Plus dinner time. Still better to make your own baffles. Yes. Yes. So, in the one sump I'm using, how can I draw a picture? Do I have a pen? And we'll just paint a nice friendly tree over here. And I have absolutely everything on my desk except a pen. Bills, 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 and more bills. Man, do I want to rant about something so bad, but I'm not going to. No pen. I literally have everything on my desk, but no pen. So, one of my sumps now, it basically comes straight down, and then, so it comes straight down. Where am I at? Okay, straight down. It comes up over the baffle and into where the batting is, and then it's a trickle, so then it trickles through the media, and then like the whole rest of it is wide open, and I love it. To me, that is like the perfect design. I absolutely love it. The trickle sump. The cat got it. Nope. Rabbits? What's up with all the rabbits? Like the baffles at the bank, you have to walk around them even though there's only one person there. The whole while the teller is staring at you, but can manage. I always walk through them. Like, nope, I walk around the side and go right to them. If there's no one in line, screw that nonsense. You lost me already. I need more hand gestures. Yeah, I'll give you one. Candy got a beat up package from UPS today. I hope yours okayler. Yikes. UPS, man. They're man, I'm telling you. Anyways, we could talk about shipping companies, or I could rant forever about shipping companies, but I won't. So, anyways, get Bob 100 likes, please. Port Matten filters are easy. Port Matten filters, I love it. From now on, they are port. Hello, Punchy Pants. Even though I know you're saying hello to Bob Kaler, I'm still gonna pretend like you're saying hello to me. Port Madden. Pour it. Baffles, The Hunt for the Red October, one of the best submarine movies ever. It's been a while since a good Bob rant. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with YouTube, kind of. It does have a lot to do with YouTube, but not about fish. So I'm not. I'm really gonna. I can't promise I'm gonna go the whole stream, but I'm gonna try. It has been a while though. It has been a while. Jumped on it that night. Dragon Lair, I'll be sending your snake this week. Hopefully. Hopefully. I like baffles, the bake. Yep. Hey Bob, 2 neon blue rams on Monday. Hey Bob, you got 2 neon blue rams. That's awesome. Can't say enough good things about rams. Super awesome fish. What is wrong with the other 100 people listening? Not hard. It doesn't cost a dime. Hit like. Thank you very much. Man, we're up to 172 people. I'm going to have to share this out to get us to 200, maybe. Oh, never mind. Candy already did, of course. How come a dragon gets a snake? Because I have a female Irian Jaya carpet python, and he has a male, and hoping to make some babies. So, yep. Amazing Ancestoress says, just joining in, what's the verdict? I mean, the verdict was over before we even started. Obviously, Sumps are better. But I wanted to have an open mind. I wanted to be objective. And still, Sumps are better. I can't believe the stream was on topic for a while there. I know. If you go back, like, 10 minutes, I actually looked at the clock, and it was like 5:24, and I'm like, we're still talking about a topic? This is some kind of record. Some kind of record. I actually, like, looked down in the corner, and I was like, dang, 24 minutes. And it started early, too. So it was really like 27 minutes. Bob Vance from Vance Refrigeration liked twice. Right on. Got a cage all ready for her. Awesome. It is time to feed her. Obviously, I'm not going to feed her and ship her off, though. So she's going to be hungry when she gets to you. What's the car channel's name? I haven't created it yet, but I think Zen Ginger is going to win the contest as far as naming it. So far, there have been a lot of good suggestions, and there's a lot of good names that would be good for like segments. But as far as the actual channel name, Rust Relics and Revivals. I think I like the idea of having a triple R as the logo, and it makes sense. There's a lot of planning going into this, so I haven't made the channel yet. So it's probably still going to be a few weeks, but we'll see. We'll see. How often would you do water changes on a heavy planted shrimp tank with quarries? Boy, I mean, I would just do the standard like 25% every 2 weeks. Just because the plants, you may not need it. Your nitrogen, your nitrates might be low, but you want to replenish the water for the plants. So at minimum, that's what I would do. In my experience, planted tanks love weekly water changes. So just keep that in mind too. Sponge is the way better way, Bob. Sponge filters are amazing. It's true. I like naming stuff. Yeah, and there was a lot of good stuff. I think it was Bob Kaler came up with like Steenfott Speedway, and I think that would be like a good segment in the show. Like maybe we'll take a car out and like go 500 miles an hour. I don't know. Just do like segments like that. So that's kind of the idea. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there. Did I hear you mention earlier carbon is detrimental to plants? Carbon can remove some fertilizers, yes. But don't let that dissuade you from using it. A lot of people have planted tanks. A lot of people use carbon. I just don't use it because I don't find it necessary. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. Crybaby. You big crybaby. Paragliding YouTube channel? No, probably not. Probably not. If anything, I would just put that on like the car channel. I use a sponge with tiny pores on my intake of my hang-on back filters to polish the water on the tiny pores. So basically like an intake sponge, right? Maybe. Mean Mug Aquatics, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Patrick, I do so out of the goodness of my heart to help the community. Your intentions are sinister. Oh, I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh yeah, Dragon Lair. I'm not gonna feed her at all. Nope. No. Intake sponges, yes. That seemed like a really elaborate way to say intake sponge. I use a sponge with tiny pores on my intake. That was like the scientific name of an intake sponge. kind of thing, right? Ooh. Don't mind me, I'm just an idiot. Yes, Moonstone, she's coming here to get bread. Oh. You're talking about my snake. Yep. Yep. That is true. Making snake babies. I have full confidence in Mr. Dragon Lair. What else we got going on here? We made it 30 minutes. I'm impressed. In the end, it's not a regular intake sponge. Has anyone ever used, instead of an intake sponge, batting? I've used batting before with pretty good success. It does limit flow a lot, though. Not going to lie. Spongius intacus. Bob is not shipping right now. I hope to be back to shipping June 1st. June 1st is when I'm planning to reopen, guys. June 1st. I use quilt batting in my sump. Tiffany, yes, exactly. That is exactly what I'm talking about. The batting. I've actually wrapped that around the intakes on hang-on back filters before. Carpets are such personable snakes. They are awesome. That is true. Oh, Bob Kaler, what kind of snakes? Yep, carpet python. My female carpet python is going for a ride. Literally. Anyways. Boy, that went south really fast. Unlimited ways to fish and scape. Batting is just polyfill with structure. Yeah, but polyfill is such a mess. It's such a mess. Like, if you just put polyfill and, like, crammed it in your hang-on back filter, it is such a pain to try to get it out of there. Batting, you can, like, cram it in there and it all pulls out in one piece. Now, obviously, there's ways that you can do it to minimize the mess of just using polyfill, but batting is cheap too, so why not just use batting? I don't know. Whatever. I'm an idiot. Batting is polyfill, Bob. What? I modified a sponge filter for like washing cars. Yes, it does restrict flow. Have to clean them more often than the regular intake sponge, but it's worth it. Hey, this is all about finding whatever works for you, right? That's the great thing about this hobby. I love the co-op intake sponges. Keeps a bunch of crap and small fry out of the filters. Just use a regular brand to close. Just use a regular band to close the gap. Well, I like the co-op ones because the bottoms of them are closed up. That's one of the nice things about them. I bought intake sponges off like eBay or Amazon, and it's just like there's a hole at the bottom. It's like, what's the point? That doesn't help me at all. Bob needs a corn snake or a California king for a first snake. You guys must be talking about Bob Kaler. Bob Kaler. Snakes are so fun. So fun. I went to Petco last week. No fish in the tanks, but betta is still in the little cups. I haven't been to mine in a couple weeks. But the last time I was there, they were saying that their shipments are getting severely limited. They're cutting back how many shipments they're getting as well. So stock is going to be pretty low. They warned me to like stock up on my dog food, so I did. Not regular band, Ranger band. It's a wider black rubber band. See, I just use zip ties. I don't know. Is the co-op gonna go live this week? I don't know. Here. Just for you. I mean, is it already scheduled? He might be lurking, but I doubt it. Are you going live this week? Still, you have your puffer, TJ Snyder. I certainly do. I gave it about a dozen large shrimp today, and it ate them all, and its belly looked like it was gonna explode. It was crazy. The answer is we don't know yet. As Candy said, we don't know yet. Oh man. I have a children's python coming Tuesday. Any advice for a long-time reptile keeper for a first-time snake keeper? Well, the good thing is you're getting a python that's made for children, so it should be pretty easy to keep, right? I'm just I absolutely have no tips for a children's python. That was a joke, people. They're not pythons made for children. That is the actual name, a children's python. I've never kept one, so I would be the last person to give advice on one. I do know what they are though, but yeah, I cannot help you there. I love my fat blue tongue, but he has LAIGS. I feel like I should know what that is. Don't leave the dogs unattended with the baby. What are we talking about? I'm back. My brother just bought 180. I had to help him move it into the house. Of course, he had to do it while Bob is live. Oh, that is awesome. Glass or acrylic? I'm gonna guess glass. But that's pretty sweet. Speaking of which, that reminds me something I gotta do afterward. Anyways, not important to the stream. Children's are not safe, nor is any snake unattended with children. Oh, that's not exactly true. There's some snakes that are absolute sweethearts. Come on. Come on. Watch a documentary on how invasive snakes are in Florida Everglades. It's pretty ridiculous. Everything is invasive in Florida, though. Not just snakes. I mean, let's be real. There's so much crap in Florida that shouldn't be there. It's insane. Just got a new millipede this weekend. Whew, see... I don't know that I could ever go with millipedes. They are such fascinating animals, but I don't know. I don't know if I could do a millipede. Well, somebody think of the children. Oh man, that's funny. Your brother was in the Curtis. Your brother was in the live stream when I started this stream. So were you out there breaking your back while he was in here watching the live stream? That's kind of weird. I have wild skinks under my porch. That's good. That helps with the bugs. Brandon guy says, I'm fine with millipedes. It's centipedes that would make me freak out if they ever escaped. Yeah, I guess a good thing about where I live, if that stuff escapes, it's really not going to live. Really anything. Roaches, all that stuff is just going to die here, which is nice. Breaking news. Florida man catches the elusive Big Steen. I'm really looking forward to going to Florida at some point. Bob, children's pythons are just smaller carpets. They have the same calm manner and curiosity as carpets. Yeah, a long time ago, I had a giant male carpet python, and he would just sit on the couch and watch TV. My roommate was terrified of snakes, absolutely terrified. So whenever he was sitting there on the couch watching TV, I would get my carpet python out and sit next to him, It would just be wrapped around my neck, and then it would slowly like make its way over to him, and he would just like, oh man, it was so funny. He learned though. He learned. He got over his fear. I want to go back to Florida, but to go fish collecting. I mean, talk about a great place to go without having to worry about passports and crazy diseases and getting leeches in your eyeballs. Florida. It would be fun. Do I know about the saddle puffer? No. Sorry, my knowledge on saltwater fish is very, very limited. Very. If Priscilla is still here, I'm sure she would know. But me, myself, very limited on anything salt related, really. I hope to start salt again, but probably not going to be anytime soon. What? The Keys are beautiful. It's so cheap to go to Florida right now, too. It is insanely cheap. But to be fair, airfare anywhere is insanely cheap right now. I bought my tickets to Chicago for half the price they normally are. It's crazy. Oh, fish prices come back in line with how they used to be. I ain't paying $15 for a Siamese algae. What? That's crazy. Bob Keller says, Petco manager told me the corporate wouldn't let them order any livestock for the past couple weeks, but have given the green light for next week. PetSmart is heavily stocked. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, my PetSmart gets their fish from California, which is shut down, but my Petco gets them from Florida, which isn't. So my Petco has fish. We're like the exact opposite over here, Bob. That's kind of weird. Saddled is another name for fugu, and that is another name for, I still don't know. It could have 100 names. I still wouldn't know. I tried scaping my Gambusia tank that's outside. It's a mess. Oh, man. I wish Florida didn't get hurricanes every year. I would so move there. I would just have tubs and tubs and tubs of rainbow fish. It would be amazing. PetZone in San Diego had them for $4 a pop. Post, now they are $15. Everywhere else is out of stock right now. I'm hoping the prices don't come up. How many are you looking to get? I have one. One big one that I'm probably going to be moving to my 240 gallon here pretty soon. Neither of mine have had any fish 3 days ago. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I would be curious to know where your PetSmart Bob is buying their fish. And if they've raised the prices at all. The little poison one I got that's... Oh, yeah, you do have a fugu puffer. Bob would end up the Florida man on the news. I would be like the crazy cat lady, except I'd be the crazy rainbow man, I guess. I don't know. That sounds weird too, though. 2 to 3 for the 40 breeder and the rest of my 75 rainbow community. They're such cool fish. I just wish they didn't get so big. They get a lot of unnecessary abuse in the hobby just because of the size they get. You know, they sell them at like that 2-inch range, and people say, "Oh, just get a Siamese algae eater for your algae, and then when it gets big, just give it back to the pet store or do something with it." That's just not cool. I'm not implying that that's what you're doing by any means. I know you're not going to do that. I just mean that happens a lot in the hobby and it shouldn't. You paid $60 for 2 rams. I would gladly sell you 2 rams for $55. I think I have like 2 left. I'm pretty sure I have like exactly 2 left. What fish or reptile would do good in a 45 gallon tall? Michael Wall. There's about 1,000 different species. Are you kidding me? That's a. You can't even. What fish or reptile? So many. You got to narrow it down a little, just a little bit, buddy. Oh man, the best is when they are big. 5 to 6 inch SAE is awesome. The ones in the 40 get too big for it. Yeah, the one I got is just now outgrowing the 40, and so I'll be moving it to the 240. You would go from super soft water to liquid rock in Florida, and I wouldn't even care. I would be just happy. The rainbow fish don't care. I don't care. My plants would be happy though. Our pet store had 3 rainbow fish yesterday, out of about 50 tanks. I gladly purchased them and put them in a quarantine tank. That is awesome. That is awesome. When I reopen, I'm going to be reopening with so many rainbow fish. So many different types of species. Yeah, it's going to be insane. I'm going to have so many rainbow fish. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be awesome. Came with a 55 sump. Oh, you're 180? I'm back. Just put my 180 in the basement. It came with a 55-gallon sump. Honey badger don't care. All right. Fish reams. I lost Linus a couple weeks ago. I talked about it briefly in a video. He came to me sick, so I struggled to grow, ate well, then died next day. So no idea. Poor thing. That's always the worst when you don't know. I am not so patiently waiting on a lot of plants from Father Fish. That not patiently waiting. I know how that goes all too well. Oh, Bo, what's up, buddy? Yes, I'm still selling fish locally. However, I really don't have anything. So, yeah. I did get the pictures that you sent me of your setup. And, like always, I forgot to respond. But let me know what you want. And I'll see what I can make happen. Green tree python paludarium in a 45-gallon tall. That's probably going to be too small. You want to know what I think about the 45-gallon tall is I hate that tank on so many levels. That footprint. Now I have one, mind you. I do have a 45-gallon tall. I also have a 37-gallon tall. And unless you're doing like angels or discus, like breeding or something like that, I just don't like those tall skinny tanks, man. They're really bad for reptiles because of maintenance. They're only like 12 inches deep front to back. And so it really limits you on your scapes, on what you can do for reptiles. If you do like a 3D background, like with spray foam, you're taking out like 3 inches already. So I just don't like those tanks. I would highly recommend anyone that wants to do reptiles, front opening tanks. Front opening. Yeah, the 36 by 12 by 23. I know it well. I've tried it. I've tried reptiles. I did Madagascar geckos. No, I did velvet geckos. I did the 3D background. I got a trio, and it was such a pain. Like after the 3D background, you put one plant in there, and it just comes to the front. Trying to like come in over the top in that skinny area. So then I switched to I pulled out the background. I did fish for a while. Still didn't like it. Man, I'm not trying to crap on your fish tank, but I just don't like that style at all. At all. 45 tall dart. Are you talking about like dart frogs? That could work. Yeah, dart frogs. Just make sure you get the right dart frog. Which, you're smart, dude. You'll do your research. Not all dart frogs are going to like tall tanks. A lot of them actually don't. Is the tank behind you the size of a wall? Holly, it is, I believe, about 30-some gallons. And it's blown up really big. Just got back. Made the mistake of looking at my phone. Like you look at your phone and got distracted. Bob, break out the low boy again. Dwarf cichlids or small tangs or something. I actually might have a spot for that tank. If I do it, it'll just be my cherry shrimp tank. But I might have a spot for it. I might. I'm thinking about exoterras for Aki babies just because the front opening is the way to go with any reptile. I swear. You will not regret it. But then again, they're so energetic. Maybe top opening will be easier to control. That is a thing. Like, that is definitely a problem with front opening. Like my Madagascar gecko. That thing is so flighty. Like, I have to be super careful when I open it because it's gotten loose where it just like darts. It's like, boom. It's right out of there. Bob Kaler with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate it, my friend. Michael Wall says, I don't mind about the 45 gallon. It's sat empty for months. I can't figure it out. I turned my 45 gallon into a crested gecko tank. Just a very basic crested gecko tank. That's what my 45 is now. That's where my female crested gecko is. And it's just very basic, very boring, but it works. Acrylic doesn't need resealing. Wait, what? Pam shared your site to 600 plus people. Hope you get some commissions. Steenfott Aquatics. Already got that one. Join the Green Tree Python pages on Facebook before you get one. They are calmer localities, but only get captive raised. That kind of goes with almost anything, right? Captive raised is going to be better than wild caught when it comes to reptiles. Anyone ever kept veiled chameleons? I love them so much. Yes, of course I have. Are you kidding me? I've kept everything at one point in my life. Veiled chameleons are awesome. There's some things that about chameleons that you have to worry about, and that's them actually getting too warm. So a lot of chameleons like cooler weather. So just keep that in mind. If you're in a place that you don't have like air conditioning and it gets really hot in the summer, you can kill a lot of chameleons just without even thinking about it. Like you wouldn't even think about it. You think, oh, reptile, cold-blooded. They like the heat, but no, chameleons. Also with chameleons, you're gonna want like screen cages. I would not put a chameleon in a glass cage. My shrimp. Anyone ever kept? Yep, not boring. Wow, I hope I don't get 600 commissions. You'd definitely be busy, wouldn't you? Matthew Vargas with the $5 super chat. Bob, I'm having bad BBA problems on my 40 gallon. It's making me crazy. I might even break it down. Any advice on how to get rid of it? I have two 3.0s on it at 20%. Man, you're talking about the easiest stuff in the world to get rid of. Very easy. Just black that thing out for like a week. If that. Just black it out, man. You could use hydrogen peroxide, but if it's really bad like that, just black it out for like a week. That's all it takes. Increase flow. Blackbeard algae hates water flow, so definitely increase flow as well. I would like to have that problem. I love BBA. Yeah, flying fox will destroy BBA. Flying foxes are a very underrated Siamese algae eater type fish. I love flying foxes. Can hear that USB sound again? Yeah, I know. There. Sorry. As soon as you said that, I knew I forgot to turn it off. But it's off now. Now that the stream is over. So it should have said something from the start. I could turn that sound off very easily, but I can't hear it myself when I'm live. Obviously I don't have like, any audio, so. What Bob said is spot on, but veiled can tolerate the hotter temperatures. They're the only chameleons that I'm aware of that can. They eat a lot, and they're gorgeous, but handling is usually no-no. That's pretty fair, I would say, about most chameleons. One of my, I'm not going to call it, bucket list, but one of the things I want to do, I guess it's bucket list because I want to do it before I die, is... I want to do a big colony of the pygmy chameleons, like the little dwarf pygmy chameleons. I just think it would be super awesome to have a giant it wouldn't be giant because they're pygmy chameleons, but how big would I want? Just like a 4-foot enclosure just full of pygmy chameleons, I think would be awesome. Hognose snakes are awesome. Although, to be fair, I've never kept one. But hognose snakes are really cool. Really, really cool. Shelter is essential. Glass would be terrible. Mine used to climb on me, but I refrain from petting or touching them. Yeah, super delicate skin. Super delicate skin. You do not want to touch them. My BBA love extra flow. It hates water changes of 50% every 2 or 3 days. It starts to die back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Matthew... Just do a blackout. Just black it out for a week. Forget that tank even exists. And you should be good to go. I have maroon algae on my rocks. It looks kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty rare. I don't know much about it, but I've gotten it before, like that red algae. Um, that you see red algae a lot. Well, it's pretty much a staple in saltwater tanks, right? Every once in a while, I'll get some type of red algae, and it's like really hard. It's like green spot algae, except it's red. Like it's just really hard to get off, but it looks cool, so I don't really care. I would feel terrible blacking out my puffer though. That puffer don't care, man. That puffer fish is not gonna care at all. It's 1 week. Bob, no permits required on the East Coast for Western hognose. You must be talking to Bob Keeler, because I am not on the East Coast. Nope. Not real high row. Rachel's older videos show a good flow. I listed one of your pair. Wait, what? I listed one pair of rainbow darters on GetGill, and they sold a couple hours later. There are native fish keeper pages on Facebook. Always have people looking to buy native fish. Yeah, I mean, the best native fish place I found is Jonah's Aquarium. Verena guy says, "How's the Tegu doing? Do you have a dubia colony going strong?" Well, I kind of had a little mishap with my dubia colony. Yeah, so I still have it, but the size of the colony just got halved. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But she goes crazy for dubia roaches. So I had a lot of dubias. I fed her an insane amount of dubia roaches. Then I had a little mishap, and so now I'm like really low on dubia roaches. So roaches. So that's all right though. It doesn't take much to get them going. It's like hair algae, and it moves in the flow of the tank. I kind of dig it. Are we still talking about blackbeard algae here? Are we? Bob, how's your roly-polies doing? They're doing well. I really don't have anything to do with them though, so I just maintain the colonies, and that's about it. I have where once the colonies get big, I just dump them in my terrariums, and a lot of them will get eaten, but yeah. So I just maintain the colony. I don't really do anything with them. Ever since they changed, like, you need like permits to sell them now or something stupid. So I pretty much just maintain the colonies, but I still have them all. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Did you ever get those expensive yellow ones that were like $10 each? There's the rubber duckies, and nope. At $25 each, those are kind of very low on the things that I'm going to buy. That list is very long, and those are on the very bottom of the list. But they're really cool. The rubber ducky, yeah, they're pretty cool. Steenfott Aquatics, Veranda guy says, I sometimes feed really small dubia nymphs to my fish. They attack those things harder than any other food I've ever offered. So yes, my puffers love dubias. My turtle likes dubia roaches, I've learned. So the turtle gets them every once in a while. I'll drop in a dubia loach, but it's definitely not like a staple by any means. But she does love them. She actually plays with them. It's the only food she'll play with before she eats it. It's really weird. What do you think about no filter aquariums? My filter is almost plugged. Should I unplug it? Well, it depends on what kind of filter. If it's a hang on back and it's getting plugged, then it might overflow out of the back. So I would unplug that. As far as aquariums with no filters, it's definitely a thing. Honestly, I have a 40-gallon aquarium that I removed the sponge filter out of a year ago, and all I do is water changes and an air stone. I have a 20-gallon long with no filter at all. Again, just an air stone with rainbows in it. My rads. So my Radinocentris Siri Creek has no filter in it. Absolutely none. It's just an air stone. So, you know, take it how you want. But I don't think filters are really necessary at all. Now, if you want like good looking water, you know, you want, really polished water, things like that, then yeah, you definitely need filters for that. But it's not like you need. I would say that don't just go and throw all your filters away, though. You'd want like a really seasoned old tank. Like, I wouldn't just set up a tank without a filter and throw fish in it. No, I would only take a filter out of a tank that's been set up for like years, at least a year. Who else wanted to get a serval and made a badass outdoor enclosure after watching Tiger King? Just me? Okay. Well, good thing for me is I wanted a serval before the Tiger King came out. So I wanted it before it was cool. Servals are awesome, though. Every time I mention serval, someone leaves a comment saying, you shouldn't get a serval, blah, 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 blah. Save it for someone who cares, people. Depends on your stocking level as well. Well, again, the more you put in there, like, you still have to do water changes. Whether you have a filter or not, you still have to do water changes. So if you have, like, I mean, gosh, my 20-gallon long has Radinocentris and a couple leftover guppies that have grown out. There's probably about 20 fish in there between 2 and 3 inches that get fed twice a day. And there's no filter. So, and those are expensive fish. Those are not just fish that I'm like toying around with and trying out some like no filter thing. Those fish are 15, 20 bucks a piece. And it's just, that tank's been set up for 3 years. There's plants, water changes. So yeah. So it definitely depends on your stocking level, but again, if you don't have filters and your stocking level is high, then you just do more water changes. I feel like cats or servals would like a large outdoor area more than houses. Oh yeah, if I ever got a serval, it would have a huge outdoor enclosure. And I'm talking like 3 stories high. It would be massive. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of whateverness. Let's see. So I want to thank Boss Hog for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Bob Kaler for the super chat and Matthew Vargas for the super chat. Guys, we set a record tonight and stayed on topic for almost a half hour. That's pretty good. Don't forget, we'll be here back Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, and we'll talk about whatever, because there's rarely a topic on Thursday, so, whatever. I like your style, Bob. All good. I'm glad someone does. Wait, Kenny says, a large branch from my magnolia tree broke off this morning, and it looks like it would be pretty sweet for my tank. Think it's safe? Let me take a look. This will be the last thing I do in this live stream. I've never used magnolia tree before, so I'm not sure, to be honest. They do use the leaves, but the thing is like, you want to make sure there's no sap. If there's no sap, then I would have no problems throwing it in the tank. So if there's no sap, by all means, boil it, clean it, whatever you want to do, and put it in your tank. But if it kills everything, don't blame me. And on that note, keep your sleeves dry and your dreams wet. I'll see you guys on Thursday.